Hey campers, welcome to day 11 of the Clapocalypse. Lucky number 11 brings a new spooky series to Camp One Clap. Bailey Patterson and Marcus Viney have been digging through the catacombs of old NSDA performances and speeches. They've uncovered 4 terrific pieces that terrify and thrill audiences, and they shall bring these forward for discussion, analysis, and learning in their series, Chronicles from the Crypt. I'm your camp director and host of the One Clap Speech and Debate podcast, Lyle Wiley. Today's episode promises thrills, chills, and even a lot of learning. Quick reminder, check the One Clap socials for today's social media challenge. We've been doing these challenges during camp. I just got a fresh batch of camp stickers and magnets, so be sure to engage. I'll reach out to get you some camp swag. With us today are camp alumni and good friends of the podcast, Marcus Viney and Bailey Patterson. Marcus Viney is head coach of speech and debate at Cheyenne East High School, where he has been coaching for 10 years. He has master's degrees in philosophy and English from Colorado State University. He currently serves as the district chair of the Hole in the Wall District for the National Speech and Debate Association. Marcus has celebrated multiple state and national championships with East High team and was inducted into the Wyoming Speech and Debate Coach Hall of Fame in 2021. However, he is best known for his local celebrity pug, Junebug. Bailey Patterson is a communication and creative arts instructor at Laramie County Community College. She earned her Master's of Communication from the University of Wyoming in 2021 and recently graduated with her Master of Fine Arts Theater Performance and Pedagogy degree from Texas Tech University last December. She was awarded the National Irene Ryan Acting Award from the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and named the 2022 Jane Alexander Emerging Artist from the College of Fellows of the American Theater. She is a former Wyoming State champion in drama, duo, and poetry, and national semifinalist in dramatic interpretation. She enjoys staying active in the speech and debate community by volunteer judging and coaching. It's time for episode 1 of Chronicles of the Crypt with Marcus and Bailey.
For our episode, we're going to throw a summerween party at our house. It's going to be the greatest thing ever.
Someone will die.
Of fun.
And of murder.
There's going to be root beer, pumpkins.
Bloody goblins.
With fake ones. It's going to be awesome. We have decorations.
Dead people that we just murdered.
Not murdered, but pictures of dead people from TV or movies.
Mutilated bodies.
But fake ones. Candy, dancing, all kinds of food and snacks.
Blood orphans.
No blood orphans. I don't know what that is.
Welcome to the One Clap Speech and Debate podcast, Clapocalypse. This is Chronicles from the Crypt. We're your hosts, Bailey Patterson.
And Marcus Viney.
And we couldn't pass up the opportunity to make a Parks and Recreation reference for our new series.
You might remember us from our series Troop Leader Talks last summer. And we're back, trading in our flashlights for lanterns, with a very special Summerween series.
Today, we are going to unearth spooky national speech and debate final round performances from the past and analyze what makes these speeches not only amazing for their time, but artifacts worthy of study today.
As we all know, the best way to improve as a speaker is to speak, but the second best way is to watch other people speak. So, we've dug into the NSDA final round Crypt and handpicked 4 spine-tingling Summerween-themed speeches to watch, review, and reveal. What made these speeches so spooktacular?
Join us as we dissect legendary performances in oratory, duo, informative, and humor, revealing secrets from each event that can help elevate your own speech.
While we're reviewing speeches from the final stage, watching anyone and everyone you can will help you become a better speaker. In other words, just because it doesn't make the final round doesn't mean it's not worth watching, analyzing, and learning from.
The best speech and debate competitors and coaches recognize the importance of learning from other speakers in the community. So whether you're a fresh-faced novice or just earned your 4th coaching diamond, light your candles and gather round as we unlock wisdom from the crypt.
This is Chronicles from the Crypt.
And today we are resurrecting the 2024 national runner-up oratory performance from just 2 months ago, If It Bleeds, It Leads by Salome Scamaroni.
And the horror powerhouse of a national championship duo, Donnie Darko, performed by Kyle and Kevin Ahern in 2019.
First up is one of the newest additions to the Crypt, an original oratory from last June titled If It Bleeds, It Leads. This oratory argues that the speech and debate world unwittingly encourages an unhealthy relationship with the traumatic stories we tell, even going so far as to call dramatic interpretation traumatic interpretation.
Which is some fun and striking wordplay, if you ask me.
Totally. She explains that, driven by the desire to get the one, students often strive for the scripts and performances that have the most extreme portrayals of trauma, even sometimes the trauma of the student performing.
That's right, but this leads to the exploitation of trauma in service of winning, which in turn snowballs into a kind of arms race to find the most extreme stories to beat others in competition. Without thoughtful direction, this leaves the world with more harm than we started with, since the audience is left unempowered and placated, as if the mere act of watching the speech is the solution to the problem presented.
Wow. Start with the doozy. Not only a potent message, but a fairly devastating critique of speech and debate as an activity itself, which seems to be a hot choice these days. It reminds us quite a bit of the final round performance of the oratory Disrespect from 2023, another breathtaking speech to go back and watch.
Now, whether you agree with the message of if it bleeds, it leads or not, there are clearly several critical lessons to learn from this performance. Today, we're going to focus on 3 elements that caught our third eye. But we encourage you to watch the video to discover what gems from this performance missed our gaze.
The first outstanding element of this speech is the topic selection.
When selecting a topic for original oratory, students may feel overwhelmed by the pressure to choose something entirely original and obscure, something no one has ever addressed before. However, as demonstrated by this speech, sometimes the most compelling topics are the ones right under our noses, or, in this case, under the nose of speech and debate itself. A successful oratory topic often makes competitors and coaches think, "Dang, why didn't I think of that?" indicating that the speech speaks truth and exposes a problem that connects us with our experience. Salome's idea that we might be using suffering to become and stay competitive is likely something that has crossed your mind before in this activity, but maybe hasn't been fully explored or articulated as this speaker did. The key insight here is not necessarily to drag down the activity or find something no one has ever heard before, but rather the idea is that a topic can be derived from a subject or problem already in plain sight. And the goal is to infuse it with your unique perspective. In other words, the original in original oratory doesn't mean the topic itself is original, but that your take on it is. If it bleeds, it leads exemplifies this element perfectly.
The second standout element of this speech is its delivery. Beyond Salome's mastery of vocal techniques such as pitch, pace, and pause, which are impressive in their own right, one of her most effective strategies is adhering to the classic rule, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. While content is crucial in speech and debate, delivery can make all the difference. For instance, when the orator states, the Trauma Olympics right here in Des Moines in 2024 and 2025, it might seem plain on paper. However, Salome enhances this line by delivering it with a touch of disappointment. The Trauma Olympics right here in Des Moines in 2024 and 2025. This delivery, hinting at reluctance about returning to Des Moines for nationals next year, elicits a big laugh from the audience. Such humor is vital in a speech that critiques the very community it addresses and is performing in front of. Remember, incorporating humor in a platform event can be a powerful tool to engage and connect with your audience and can break up moments of more serious subject matter.
And the final outstanding element? This speech excels in presenting solutions. In oratory, it's not enough to simply highlight a problem. You must also provide practical solutions. Often in original oratory, this is precisely where things fall apart. Oratory is traditionally a problem-solution speech, meaning you have 2 primary goals. First, convince the audience that a problem truly exists. And second, prove that a viable solution is possible. The biggest issue with many solutions is that they can feel unrealistic or unattainable for the audience. The last thing you want to do for your judge is to feel disheartened by a problem and then powerless to do anything about it. This is where Salome's approach stands out.
If it bleeds, it leads excels in presenting actionable solutions that the audience can implement immediately, such as including resources in a poi introduction or ensuring a strong resolution in dramatic interpretations to show both the impact of trauma and the potential for healing. Solutions in oratory need to feel attainable and empowering, and this speech achieves that by scaling them from small, everyday actions to broader, long-term cultural changes. This strategic approach includes framing trauma responsibly with actionable steps, providing detailed information about speech topics for judges, and being mindful in the selection and discussion of traumatic topics. These comprehensive solutions leave the audience with concrete actions they can take, making the speech both impactful and practical.
It's definitely a speech that deserves a second look. But it's time to move on to another performance from the Crypt.
Something darker,
but also really fun. Let's jump back a few years to 2019 to dissect the duo performance Donnie Darko, which was based on the 2001 cult classic film by the same name. If you haven't seen the movie, it's a great choice for Summerween. This film features an exceptional soundtrack, a plane crash, a mysterious rabbit, questions about time travel, and fittingly, a looming apocalypse.
Apologies to the Swifties. We already know all too well that Jake Gyllenhaal stars as the lead. In the duo adaptation, the story focuses on Donnie's attempt to grapple with mental illness and his father's efforts to support him. With its intriguing mix of drama and horror, this performance stands out and offers valuable insights into duo interpretation. But what lessons can we draw?
First things first, in duo, it's best if you just have a twin. But if you don't have that, here are a few standout features of this performance.
First is piece selection.
This performance of Donnie Darko stands out for its originality and creative adaptation. As of summer 2024, this script has been performed exactly once at Nationals, according to their database, making it a unique and standout choice in a sea of overdone scripts. Now, if I'm being honest, if you had asked me 5 years ago whether Donnie Darko would make a good cutting, I would have been skeptical due to the movie's complexity. But sometimes great performances come from bold choices. Just like how the legendary artist Michelangelo could see a sculpture within a block of marble, this duo saw the potential in the movie and carefully carved it down to its core story, a son dealing with mental illness. The key takeaway is the value of choosing fresh and unconventional material and focusing on what's really important for your performance. Even if you're a fan of the movie and find the duo's version quite different, their adaptation powerfully highlights the issue of mental health in a way that's both original and impactful.
The second standout feature of this duo is its exceptional use of blocking. In speech and debate, duo interpretation is unique because it's the only event where two performers can work together physically to tell a story. This performance truly shines in its use of synchronicity and symmetry, creating dynamic and memorable visuals that stretches drama into the unusual genre of horror. A great example is the opening scene where Donnie introduces himself while washing his hands. As he bends down, the second performer ominously appears in the background, creating a chilling and powerful visual contrast. One important lesson here, especially for those who watched Duo at Nationals this past year, is that you don't need to do backflips in your blocking to make a strong impact on your audience. Instead, thoughtful use of positioning and subtle body movements can enhance the storytelling. If you watch this performance multiple times, you'll keep discovering new and insightful ways the duo uses their bodies to enrich the narrative.
And the final standout element of this duo is their effective use of the principle show don't tell, or in this case, show don't yell.
In the speech and debate world, it's widely accepted that a performance should have a climax. a peak moment where the story's conflict reaches its highest point, demanding a powerful reaction from the characters. Many might think this requires loud, intense delivery to convey the drama, but this duo takes a completely different approach. In a striking contrast to the usual expectation of volume, they opt for near silence during the climax of their performance. In the final 2 minutes, we watch quietly as Donnie consumes pills in the bathroom while his father tries to break in and help.
This choice to remain silent during such a critical moment enhances the emotional impact and demonstrates a powerful storytelling technique. By showing the audience the intensity of the scene without overt verbal expression, they allow the gravity of the moment to resonate more deeply.
Ironically, not speaking is just as powerful, if not more, than speaking. As we wrap up this episode of Chronicles from the Crypt, we hope you've found fresh inspiration in these amazing performances.
From the powerful argumentation of if it bleeds, it leads, to the imaginative physicality of Donnie Darko, it's clear that mastery in speech and debate often comes from a deep understanding of both the craft and the content.
Remember, the key to a powerful performance lies in how you present your story as much as in the story itself. Stay tuned for more lessons from the Crypt in our next episode and keep pushing the boundaries of your own performances. Wow, those are really good.
Thanks.
Thank you so much to our Crypt Keepers, Bailey and Marcus. That was fun, and we're looking forward to episode 2 next week. What's going on in the Clapocalypse tomorrow? Jaden Roccaforte has created a 2-part series exploring fear and anxiety and how we can conquer fears in speech and debate. This first episode debuts tomorrow. Remember to check the social media challenges on our socials, and, well, we'll see you tomorrow, campers. Oh, by the way, if you're ever given the job of Crypt Keeper, you need to be super careful to bury people in the right spot. To mess that up would be a grave mistake. For Camp One Clap, this is Camp Director Wiley, signing off.